All righty.
Okay, I think it's live. Oh, it says preparing. Hold on.
All righty.
Okay. Yay, we're live. Okay. Those first few seconds whenever you live stream on YouTube, if you're doing it from another platform, are always so awkward because it's like, wait, is it live? No, but It's actually live already. Hi everyone. Let me just share this on Instagram because we're live and we need to let the people know. We are here with Brittany Bright. Very excited. We can just hop right into it because I don't want to take up too much of your time. Today is her son's first birthday, which is so nice. Hi everyone. Let's see who's here. Sabrina, Malik, Bobby, Sarah, Feminine Melanin. Oh, okay, girl. Joy of my life. It's lovely Bree. Hey, Bree. Tanika, Miss Petty, A. Cooper, Courtney. Where's everyone watching from? Please let me know. A lot of you guys are e-bosses, which is so nice. So tonight we're having our masterclass on YouTube Live, which we do this once a month in the eBrand Club, which a lot of you know now that is switching to the eBrand Academy, which is going to be amazing. But we have Brittany here with us today because she is amazing. Actually, my community manager of the eBrand Club told me about you, and she spoke very highly of you. And she was like, I think she would be a really good person to have in the club. And we reached out and we made it happen. So here we are. We have Binghamton, New York, Nigeria, Alabama, Florida, San Diego, Florida, California, Detroit, hey, Mississippi, Philadelphia, New York. Brittany, where are you from?
I am in Mississippi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Shout out.
My roots are from Mississippi. I feel like so many people in Detroit, like when I went off to college, everyone thought that I had like kind of a Southern accent. And I'm like, it's because everybody who's in Detroit, grandparents is from Mississippi, Memphis, Alabama, somewhere, you know? So
yeah, I can hear it a little bit, but same with Chicago as well. Like my partner, his entire family is in Chicago and they have Mississippi roots, which I find, really funny because they're just super city-like. And then they come to Mississippi and they're like, oh, it's so different. But I actually live on the Mississippi Gulf Coast and it's amazing down here. It's humid, but it's beautiful. We have palm trees, we have beaches.
Wow.
And a lot of people don't know that this little slice of Mississippi exists. It's like a little secret coast. And so
that's so nice. Yeah, my cousin
it's a perfect place for the family.
My cousin went there and he was like, yeah, we're going on a vacation to Mississippi. And everybody was like, Mississippi? What you going on vacation to Mississippi for? But that's where he was. Well, that's cool.
It's nice.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, what you do. Just give us the spiel.
Of course. So hi, everyone. I'm Brittany Bright. I am multi-hyphenate everything, I feel like at this point, but 29 years old. I'm from the Mississippi Gulf Coast. I currently serve as the Associate Director for Influence and Social Media at a PR agency. So I report to New York. So I'm in New York a lot. I am also the founder of the Influencer League, which is an online education platform aimed towards amplifying and growing community for creatives, more specifically creatives of color. So I am very much dedicated to working with Black and Brown influencers and creators and helping them monetize their influence online and build a brand that helps them prepare to become influencers. And so in addition to that, I am also a content creator myself. I do part-time brand deal work as a mom and lifestyle influencer. And then last but not least, I'm a mom of two. I have a 1-year-old named Maddox, and I have a 5-year-old named Jackson. So # boy mom life.
Oh, that is so cool. I was really interested to have you because you kind of are working in the same space, but like maximizing it from all different angles. So you still work your corporate job, which I think is incredible. And you're working in PR. And then you teach influencers how to get those brand deals from PR. And then you what else did you say you do? And then you take your own brand deals, your own lifestyle, like your own influencer. And I think that that is so incredible to be maximizing all angles of your experience in that way. Can you just tell us a little bit more about your corporate position of like working in PR and how that has helped you in your other parts of your business?
Of course, I find it very funny the trajectory that I found myself in because I went to college with a business degree, and I was always interested in journalism and digital marketing. But this was 2013, 2014 at the time when I was just deep into internships in college, and Instagram was becoming popular. Instagram launched in 2010. It was just for iPhones, and I had an iPhone at the time, and so I downloaded this new app and I really loved it. It was a photo sharing app. It was different from MySpace. It was definitely different from the constant updates on Facebook and the tweeting. So I loved it. It was just a photo sharing app. And so 2013 rolled in and more people started migrating from YouTube to Instagram. I was looking for an internship, and I went to my advisor and I was like, hey, how do I get an internship in something that not a lot of people are doing? And she was like, go make your own internship. And so I went to the local square. Sounds very country, I know, but I went to the square where all of the and I was like, hey, are you looking for a social media manager? I'll come in for free as an intern, and I'll take pictures of your clothes and shoes, and I'll post them on Instagram. I'll post them on Pinterest, Twitter, and Facebook for you. Like, I'll market it. And they were like, okay, sure, come do it. It's free, free marketing. And so I just grew my career from there. So then I graduated from college in 2016, and I went to work at an advertising agency here in Mississippi, and I was doing digital marketing. So at the time, I was very heavy into doing social media management and data and analytics. And I had a son at the time. I graduated college, and it's so funny because I graduated in summer 2016. A month later, I started my job at the ad agency. I was 7 months pregnant. 3 months later, I went on maternity leave. So all of these life changes that, women go through all happened to me at once. You graduate college, you start a job, you have a baby. Most people stretch that out over a period of years. I was like, no, I'm Brittany. I'm gonna do it all in a 3-month span. And it was a lot for a young woman, more specifically a young Black woman in the PR world, to have to go through. And so I didn't want having a child to, sway me from my goals or my career, because that was really important to me. And so I was like, I know there are other women out there who are like me. So I'm going to become an influencer. I'm going to do what I see other people doing, but I don't know much about it. But I know about digital marketing. I know about social media. So I have that to my advantage. And so after that, I launched my blog, Be Bright Daily, because my name is Brittany E. Bright. So I was like, hey, Be Bright.
Oh, that's perfect.
Brand. That's so cute. And so I launched Be Bright Daily as a lifestyle blog in 2017. And I started growing my following online just very, very slowly. But it worked. We had multiple viral photos and videos just as a mom and a family of a lifestyle family, and it grew from there. And what ended up happening was I wanted my career to start pointing towards influencer marketing, and the work that I was doing at my agency was very much behind the times. I was still doing social media, but we weren't touching the influencer aspect because it was Mississippi. They didn't care about influencers. It was like, we have no use for influencers here. And that's what I desperately wanted. So I ended up leaving that job and moving to Northwest Arkansas where Walmart headquarters is, Walmart and Sam's Club. And a lot of people don't realize that that area of Arkansas is very, it's thriving because you have Walmart there. And there's a lot of influencer marketing agencies that are doing major brand deals. I'm talking millions of dollars in brand deals a year.
Wow.
So I was like, I'm going to uproot my very small young family. We're going to move to Arkansas, and I'm going to really get into a position where I can grow my career as a thought leader in influencer marketing. And it took off from there to put me in this place now. So in a nutshell, I took my passion, I took my drive that I have for my career, and I took the personal experiences that I had and molded it all into what is now my career and my life today.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like a lot of people, their main goal is to like quit their job, which I just don't feel like it has to be mutually exclusive to be an entrepreneur and to not work a 9 to 5.
Exactly.
Whatever your hours are. A lot of jobs, especially new jobs in these types of markets, is like flexible, and like it's different now, depending on where you work and what type of industry you're in. So can you just share like your thought process behind having your corporate job and then still having your businesses or your business?
I would definitely say it's a labor of love, because I mean, obviously it's my son's first birthday, and I'm quote unquote working, but it's okay because I've built a support system that encourages it and allows it and doesn't make me feel bad for it. And I am now in a position in my career, and I was actually mentioning this to my mom the other day, that I'm finally at this point in my career where not only do I have flexibility, but I have sustainability and consistency. And that's not easy, because you, as an entrepreneur, it's full-time entrepreneur, no 9 to 5. You don't have that solid foundation. You don't have that consistency. 1 month you can make $50,000, and the next you might only make 10, or you might only make 5. And if you've grown your lifestyle to be accustomed to a certain income coming every month, and you don't see that, it's not, it doesn't leave you in a comfortable place. And when the pandemic hit, I actually left my job that I moved to Arkansas for, and I was thrown into full-time 100% entrepreneurship. And at the time, it was okay because I had the Influencer League. It was up and going. I was paying myself, an average salary every month. It got to the point where the business was thriving, and I was able to pay myself and my team, that when I left this job, my lifestyle didn't have to change. We didn't have to worry, about bills. We didn't have to worry about any of that, because I had that sustainability, that stability from
from your job,
my side hustle.
I mean, your side hustles, exactly.
Right. Yeah. And so, but even then, it was still that moment of, what if I don't feel like running the Influencer League? What if I don't feel like doing brand deals? I don't have, I have to work to make money. I have to turn in invoices. I have to hunt invoices down. I have to, make sure that 6 months from now, I know what job I'm going to be doing. I know members are still going to be paying for stuff, so I can still pay myself. And it was okay, but I just did not like that feeling. And I was always on the hunt for the right position. But it had to be a position that, number one, allowed me to still do brand deals and still run the Influencer League. And it had to be a position that was flexible, so that I could still spend time with, at the time, I only had Jackson, my 5-year-old. I still want to be able to spend time with him and his dad, my partner. And so, that's where I started doing contracts. I did a role with Facebook where I was a influencer manager for Facebook. I did a few contract roles for the agency that I work at now. I did a lot of little projects over 2020 and 2021. So I went out on maternity leave last year, came back, and the agency that I work for now, they asked if I wanted to join as a full-time associate director. I was like, absolutely. I love working here. I love the flexibility that you give your employees. And that's where I am now. So If I want to take an hour out of my day to, go to lunch or go pick up my son from school or run to the grocery store, I can do that. If I want to do a brand deal, they're not weird about it and say, oh, we don't want you doing any outside work. We don't want you to run the influencer league. They don't do that. They allow me.
That's so good. And I think that people, honestly, I think a lot of people have a almost like deceptive perspective or like a skewed perspective of entrepreneurship because they actually just want, like some people actually just want a job that they love, that gives them flexibility and freedom, like that still allows them, the stability and like isn't so rigid, it still allows them to pursue different passion projects that they want. I feel like if corporations understood that, then it would be so many more people actually working and doing the things that they really love and like executing on so much higher of a level at their jobs because they actually are getting what they really want. Because entrepreneurship, I know we hear people say this all the time, but it's really not for everyone. Entrepreneurship full-time, I will say. Like I do personally think that if you want to start something, you can, and I think everyone can. But for it to be your full-time, I think that that's a very great level of self-awareness to have. Like, look, I did not feel very good when I was, full-time, kind of always like, wondering.
Always
and like,
on.
it's very mentally draining, so I appreciate you sharing that perspective with us. I think it's really cool too. Sarah had mentioned how you've kind of marketed your course. So like, let's pivot a little bit into that because I think that the audience will get a lot of value out of just how you've positioned your course. Is it your course or your membership?
My course. We had
your course. That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah. So can you just explain what your course is and then share how you've chosen to market it?
Absolutely. It's very interesting the way my brain thinks about influencer marketing as a whole. A lot of people approach influencer marketing they look at it as how can I grow as many followers as possible and get money for it or brand deals. And that's the first thing. I have thousands of people who have come to me over the years, grow my following so I can make money. And that's not how I think about influencer marketing. That's not how anyone should think about influencers or marketing in general. And so we have this course, and it is in partnership with MSL, who's a global PR and influencer agency. And last year we launched the Time to Face the Influencer Pay Gap study. And this study showed that Black influencers on average are paid 35% less than white influencers, and influencers of color are paid 29% less. So this was something that we already knew, but the stats were not there.
Just a quick pause. Don't forget where you are. Are these influencers with management or are they kind of like self-navigating?
The study dives into that a little bit more, but for the most part, these influencers who are underpaid do not have management, and they also do not have more than 50,000 followers.
Okay, good to know.
They more than likely do not make more than 2,000-3,000 a year on brand deals, which is the majority of influencers. You have 200 million people in the world who consider themselves to be a creator. Only 4% make over $50,000 a year as a creator. Wow. So the majority of people, and this is the lead up to the course. You have that other 96% who have not grown their following. They have not monetized because they don't have a brand. And so the way I positioned this course is the Influencer League operates on 5 pillars. The 5 pillars are influencer branding, social media growth, blogging, which in this day and age, we call it creator economy, just websites in general, brand deals, and monetization. Brand deals and monetization are separate because brand deals, you can literally create $1 million, lifestyle based on brand deals alone. Monetization offers more avenues of income.
Absolutely.
So
Mhm.
And so basically, we have creators who come to us and will say, I need help with this. So I've created this quiz. It's like a 40 question assessment. And you go through and you answer all 40 questions. It honestly only takes like 7 minutes for you to do. And it will assess where you are in your creator journey. For example, if someone with 2,000 followers who's never had a brand deal and has no solid brand takes this course, it's going to takes this assessment, is going to place them into the influencer branding tier. That's the very first tier. If you have not grown your following consistently, you haven't earned any income, and you don't have a niche, or you don't know really what you want it to be, you're still trying to figure things out, we're going to put you in the very first tier. I don't want you to think about growing your social media followings. I don't want you to think about trying to get brand deals. I don't want you to think about trying to launch a product. You need a brand. You need a foundation to build on before you can even go from there. If you have that foundation, if you kind of know who you are, you know your niche, you know what you want to share and what your target audience essentially is, then we'll go over to social media growth. We'll start talking about your audience and what they like and what they need from you, what value you can provide. We have exercises for that. And then we start we'll audit your account and start building a strategy based on that audit. So then we'll go from there. Once you're solid, you're growing consistently, not going viral, you're growing consistently, which is more important than going viral, to be honest. Consistent following, you have a good brand, people are responding and engaging with you, you're building that community. Now we can talk about brand deals. Now we can talk about, what does the next step in monetization look like from you? So that's the way the course is. It's the Influencer League as a whole is structured to help every single creator where they are get to the next level. We're not the type of people to say, hey, I'm gonna help you grow 1,000 followers in a week. That's not realistic.
Exactly.
Can it be done? Have I seen people do it? Absolutely. Has someone taken one of my courses and went viral or got a, $15,000, $20,000 brand deal? Yes, but that's not normal. That's sometimes you can't control these things,
Exactly.
and so we're very realistic. We're not here to sell dreams. We're here to give you a structured, idealistic approach over a period of time. We don't do anything popcorn. And so that's how we like to approach influencers through the Influencer League.
Love that. So you're partnering with someone on this. So are you doing like direct to consumer marketing? Are you marketing it to PR agencies? Are you marketing? I feel like the cool thing about you is that I feel like you've taken, at least from what Sarah has told me, a little bit of a back end approach. And that is a really cool way to, I think most people think of their courses as just like always just direct to consumer, or even any products. Like you never go to schools, or they never approach corporations or nonprofits or, agencies with their course to sell in bulk. Like it's always like, I got to get followers so I can, streamline this process of, a percentage or so of my followers are going to convert. Like, can you tell me a little bit of how you're actually getting your course to the right people?
So for me, I think my agency background has a lot to do with it. Into like freelancing and working full time for these different agencies, I've made connections. I've met people, and the Influencer League was something pre-pandemic. So before summer 2020, Black Lives Matter, when all of the brands were like, hey, Black squares and Black Lives Matter, and we want to support Black creatives. The Influencer League existed before that. And so because we already had that online presence built for Black creators, it was easy for brands to come to us and say, hey, you've already done the work. Let us pay you to, do more work with us, sell your courses, let us sponsor students. So it came as a way to support a Black-owned, business like the Influencer League and support Black creators in the same breath. And the reason that I chose MSL is because a very good friend of mine was working for MSL at the time, and he kind of set the deal up, and it just grew from there. We launched the study. They sponsored 1,000 students to come through the course. And it's funny because that's the course that Sarah is revamping. We did it in 2020 and she's revamping it now. And we're going through, she's auditing everything. And she's like, well, how much are you selling the course for? And I'm like, I'm not selling it. It's free. An agency paid me to give it to 1,000 students, to let 1,000 students come in. And so I want to go that route with more agencies and more corporations and businesses, because number one, it's consistent income, it's consistent revenue for my brand, for my company, which is always great. But also it's evident that there's a barrier of entry into influencer marketing and content creation for Black creators. We don't necessarily have the disposable funds to pay for a course, to pay for equipment, to pay for all of these things. And the lack of education is what's keeping creators from being able to truly be successful. They don't know how to read contracts. They don't know how to secure or negotiate, a brand deal. If a brand comes to them and say, hey, we have $300, but then you read through the contract and it's really a $10,000 brand deal. You want to be able to know how to negotiate that and point out what's wrong with this contract and ask for what you truly deserve. And that's what we're here for. And so I wanted to keep the Influencer League low cost, and keep in mind, I've sold $500 courses. I've sold high price courses, which is fine, and people purchase them and they like them. But the more that I can have a multi-million-dollar corporation pay me so that more Black and brown creators can do something for free,
I love that.
I'm going to have them pay for it, And so that's the approach that I'm taking now with the Influencer League, is the more that I can get that revenue from the company, the less that I'll have to ask my community to pay for something that they more likely cannot afford. So
yes, girl, that's amazing. Yeah, I think that's really cool. And I totally agree that the gap is real. And when you can, I'll say this, for the eBrand Club, like I had that same approach. Like I was like, I feel like there is just everything is so expensive, and expensive is relative. But I think that, I wanted to make it something that people could really access. And so that's why we still have it, because at one point I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. And that's why we're switching it over to the academy style. And it's so funny that you said like the 5 tiers, because we have 5 tiers of levels for them, because I'm like, the transformation hasn't been like, we need a transformation that can meet people where they are. And I think that's the key to having a successful course or membership or whatever. If you can kind of like take people through a journey and help them climb up some sort of a ladder without necessarily always making it attached to a metric, like you said, like 1,000 followers or $1,000 or whatever. I think that that's a really good thing to just let you guys know when you're creating these types of products, to take your time for one, and also think back on your journey as you took those steps. Whether it's whatever type of transformation you're trying to help your audience go through with your digital products.
And you have level set too. Like no one's gonna come in already at the top, and you don't want to be that person that's promising someone that they're gonna get in here, take this 6-week masterclass, and you come out on top. That's not how, at least for creatives, that's not how that works. I have one creator influencer that I work with. She's a 6-figure creator. I remember last year in 2021, she had a $70,000 month. She's a mom of 3. It was a massive month for her. This woman and I have been working together since 2018. And she got to that point in a $70,000 month in 2021. And so I cannot in good conscience be that person that's going to say, hey, influencer, come to me and you're going to have a $50,000 year within 6 weeks. I can't, consciously, I cannot offer that. But what I can do is level set expectations and be realistic and say, if you take these steps over time, here's the things that you should see at certain milestones. If it doesn't work, go back to the drawing board and try again, because that's marketing in general. That's social media in general. And so that's just kind of like how we approach it. Like I'm realistic. Like I'm still growing as a creator. I don't have hundreds of thousands of followers, but I have honestly a really amazing income as a creator. I have the brand deals that I secure as a creator. There are creators with hundreds of thousand followers who don't see those type of brand deals, you know. Literally. So it's all about empowering your community, you know, what you know.
I was just in LA and I was talking to one of a content creator. She had millions of followers, and she says she takes deals from 3,000 to like, I don't know. I think she might have said 6 figures, 5 to 6 figures, but I'm like, $3,000? Like your deals should not ever be that low. Like, I don't care if it's one Instagram story frame, your deal should not be that low. But it's also, I think too, having perspective and being some sort of a thought leader, or sharing your opinions, having some sort of depth with your content always helps to have more leverage with brands, at least in my experience. Brands enjoy certain things about me and my perspective and my opinions that I almost feel like they are willing to pay more when you just bring more to the table. And so I always encourage you guys to just make sure that you're sharing like things that have depth and like sharing your perspective. And like, we love the cuteness, but like, if you can add some actual oomph to the content, it honestly makes for better storytelling, which makes for brands wanting to work with you more, to attach themselves to the values that you have. So I would think like Tabitha Brown, like she is like a light, and like every brand wants to be attached to joy. And so like she has brands from every facet of her life, from her clothes to her shoes to her candles to her food to her rest, like, you know. And it's when you can have some sort of core foundation, I think it really makes you way more marketable when it comes to getting and attracting brands. So,
and that's why we have the influencer branding pillar before two spots ahead of brand deals. Like if you don't have that foundation of who you are and how you can provide value to your audience, but also be valuable for yourself. Like we have the 3 R's: relevant, reach, and resonance. You have to have those 3 R's in order to grow your following, grow your brand, and secure those brand deals. And for me, it's all about the storytelling aspect. I have 30,000 followers on Instagram. I post at this point, because I'm so busy, I post once a month, maybe, on Instagram. And I just finished up a $15,000 brand deal because number one, I know how to read contracts and I know how to ask for what I want. But number two, when I do create content, especially video content, I want to be able to tell a story without saying any words. Sometimes it doesn't even have to have any music. Like I want my visuals to tell the story. And I upgraded my camera equipment. I shoot with the Nikon Z6 II. You don't have to upgrade your equipment. I just personally love camera equipment. And trust me, Erin, I've been stalking, like, I need to see more of your Nikon. Sell me on this camera.
Yes, girl.
I want it so bad. I'm trying not to buy it. I want it so bad because I never used my Sony ZV-1, but I have my Nikon Z6 II, and I just love the storytelling aspect that you can pull into a 15-second video. Like I'm dramatic. Like I and how can I put that in my content? And that's what I sell to brands. I paint a picture for them. I say, let me set the scene for you. And I go through this, entire spiel of a story that I'm telling. And I'm giving them a picture in their mind so they know, if we pick Brittany, this is the type of content she's going to do. This is what it's going to look like. And that's how I get my brand deals. That's how I have a $3,500 brand deal for a TikTok that I don't even have to post. It's just, I sold the rights to it. I shot it, sold the rights to it, $3,500. It took me 2 hours of my time.
Yeah, and that's the important part about understanding contracts and what you're actually doing, because like I've seen even so many of my friends will post a picture and tag the brand of the dress, and then it ends up on their website under the, swipes of the
Yeah.
product images. And I'm like, honey, are you getting paid for that? Like, that is literally usage.
Yeah.
Like, what are you like?
You can't be mad if you find yourself on a billboard one day because you told them yes.
Yeah, you hashtag yes to Carol under your picture. Now they're using this all over the place in their emails, in their paid marketing ads, in their billboards, on all of their collateral, and you're not getting paid for it. And so you really have to be careful and at least like Google, at the very least, if you aren't in the eBrand Academy, if you aren't in the influencer league, if you don't have access to, someone directly that you can ask, which you can always send me a DM. But if you don't, like, please just do a quick Google, because you do not want to give them permission for something that you can be getting paid thousands of dollars for. Yeah. And so even one of my friends even posted today, which I thought was really good, with speaking engagements. A lot of times, like, you'll go to a speaking engagement and you'll be at a conference and they have all these cameras, and then they're reselling the freaking thing that the content. And it's like, well, did you give them permission to do that? Are they paying you for that? And so it's not even just with brand deals, it's with any type of thing where you're creating something and you need to know what rights you're giving them to that content and information. So
absolutely. So yeah, it's funny because I just recently did a brand deal with One A Day Postnatal, and they didn't pay for the rights. They just wanted me to create the content and post it. And honestly, if I'm not mistaken, they had like 30 days standard digital usage, social media usage, meaning they could run paid amplification on it. They couldn't whitelist it. They didn't have permission to whitelist. They didn't have permission to dark post, just standard amplification. And the deal is over. They don't have those rights anymore. They commented on the photo, the brand page that I've tagged as a paid partnership. They commented on it with the standard, hey, we love this photo. Can we reshare it? If yes, respond with yes. And they put the link. And I found that so funny because had I said yes, they now have the rights to use it however they choose.
Yeah.
And that's their way around not paying me for the usage after choosing to not pay me when we first put the brand deal together. So I just ignored the comment. As much as I want to build this relationship with you, I can build relationships with you in other ways other than responding to this comment and giving you free, because this was a brand deal. Like, you could have paid for them when you had the chance. And if you still want it, you can reach out to me and pay for them.
Absolutely. I love that. And I just caution anyone to know that when they hashtag that or request that under your photos on Instagram, you can be getting paid. So you can always send them a DM or an email and like let them like get in contact with the brand and then negotiate from there. And even if you don't know what to negotiate, like, what do you want? Like, how much do you want? Like, I mean, honestly, sometimes you just kind of got to throw spaghetti at the wall, unless you have a very, unless you have an approach that you want to share with us when it comes to like specifically posting. But I've talked to so many people who are managers, and they're just like, people's pricing is all over the place. Like, who work for PR agencies, they're like, people's pricing is all over the place. Like, if we want it, we're going to figure out a way to either negotiate or we're just going to pay it. So like, you kind of got to, what's your take?
So it's honestly, it's out there. But one thing that the Influencer League has done and is continuing to do is we are partnering with multiple agencies in the industry to create a pay index and get as close to a standardization in the United States as possible. And that comes with this challenges because, like you said, up until now, everyone's been throwing spaghetti at the wall and the rates are all over the place. But I personally, and a lot of people have as well, have worked with thousands of creators. I have seen rates from all over the world. I've seen them in Nigeria. I've seen them in the UK. I've seen them in the Caribbean. I've seen them in Canada. I've seen rates in the US. I've seen them all over the place for all tiers. And over the years, I have collected this data. People have shared this data with me, and I've collected it, and I developed a formula based on all of that data, very realistic. And I created an influencer rate calculator. Now, there are dozens of calculators out there, and they are all subpar to the point where it's insulting because I don't know where these formulas came from.
Girl, me either.
I don't know why you feel like I'm only gonna charge
$800,
$50. Like, no, ma'am, no.
World.
And so this calculator is it's competitive to where, you put your metrics in and you put in a few other pieces of information that most calculators don't ask you for. And it gives you a rate that's very realistic. And I've tried it with creators with 200 followers. I've tried it with creators with 2 million followers and in between. And I've gotten very good feedback about it. I've shared it with agencies. The agency I work for, it's been working really well. And so the next steps is we are hoping to soon get a partnership. I've been going with an influencer agency who has a really wonderful data and analytic tools. And we're going to partner together to build this calculator to be even bigger and better and offer it to creators and hopefully push us closer to a place where you don't have to follow the guidelines, but for the communities who are historically underserved and underpaid, it's going to help them. You're going to see a Black creator who used to charge $300 now charge, $1,000 just for one post because this calculator is helping them, understand why they should be charging what they charge.
Yeah.
And so for me, I feel like I try to do my best with helping creators come to terms with what their rate should be. And I can say, like rule of thumb, if someone's asking you for whitelisting or allow listing, then, if you have a base rate of say like $800 and that's your base, charge 25% of that every 30 days. That's your usage on top of your base. And so a lot of people aren't compounding all of those rates. Everything is a separate charge. There's like 10 things that you can charge for or more. And most people don't know what those are, nor are they compounding them on top of each other. So if a brand comes to you and they're like, we want you to do a TikTok, but we also want 6 months of exclusivity. We also want 6 months of allow listing, and we also want to put it in our store. You got to pay for all 4 of those for the entire 6 months. And do you know how expensive that is? I don't care if you have 500 followers, 5,000 followers, 5 million followers. It's expensive. And a lot of people don't realize that. And
I love how you said expensive. You said it's expensive.
I don't care if you got 5 followers. It's expensive. And so a lot of people don't realize that those types of asks, those numbers start to compound. And so I one time had this one influencer, she had like 50 followers on TikTok. She had a $15,000 brand deal, not because she had 50 followers, but because of what they were asking her to do was worth $15,000. And so that's the thing about rates. It starts with education and not necessarily a standard rate, but knowing that if they're asking for every single, like all of these things, you charge every day that they're asking.
And that's why I also don't encourage people to have like rate sheets, because I'm like, you need, like, what do you want from me? And then I will tell you how much it costs, because
absolutely,
brands will really, like, if you give them too much at one time, they're gonna
box you in.
Yeah, they are. So you have, like, do not give too much too soon. And I think that is great. It should also be very encouraging for you guys to also know that start now. Like, following size is not the end all be all. You do not have to hit 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 followers to start charging brands and to start charging a premium amount for brands. Because think about it. The girl who I talked to who has 3 million followers, if she's charging $3,000, like the brand may have projected $70,000 for her, and now
I personally would have.
They have 67,000 more dollars left because she's only charging $3,000. And who do you think is getting that? Me or somebody else who knows, Brittany, who knows what they're doing when it comes to charging. And that's where brands tend to have more wiggle room, is because so many people don't charge enough. And so
I would say that's really where my perspective with running the Influencer League comes from, is because I'm also on the brand side. I don't, as an associate director, now I'm just managing my team members under me, but I used to be that person that was sending out the offers for campaigns. And that's honestly what started the Influencer League, because I was running campaigns for Walmart. They were lifestyle campaigns. So we were doing, tie like home products, parent, like Pampers, things like that. And I would reach out to Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, I was reaching out to all of these different types of creators, and consistently it was the Black and brown women who were undercharging. I knew what the budget was. My client told me, here's how much you have to spend. Here's how many influencers we want. Here's what we want their following to be. And I found the influencers, and I would set the amount that I could give each influencer based on the budget that I was given. So if I'm given 50,000 followers, I have 10 influencers. Essentially, I have $5,000 to give to each influencer. Is my math right? If it is, I'm sorry. So essentially, I have $5,000 to give to each influencer. And so I'll reach out to everyone, and the white woman will be like, oh, I'll do all this for 4,800, another one, oh, I'll do this for 3,000. And you're like, oh, okay, I got a little wiggle room. Some people are coming in a little up. Some people will say 6,000. They're coming above and under. That's kind of how negotiating works. But then you'll come to a Black woman. I'll do that for 1,000. Oh, I'll do that for 500. And it was hurtful because I know how much I have set aside for you. You don't know, but I know. And you got 4,000 more to work with. You got 4,500 more to work with. So I'd pull them to the side. I'd DM them on Instagram like, hey, you don't know me, but I just sent you an email with an offer, and you only charged me 500, but I had 5,000 set aside for you. So email me back and say you want 500. Say, I looked over it a little bit more. Can I really have 5,000 instead? And so it just grew from there. So a lot of the relationships that I've built with other Black influencers in the industry is because I pulled them to the side and said, hey, you need to charge more. And I still do that today. Or I'll pull a team member to the side and say, hey, we have this one influencer, and he undercharged us for a really massive deal. And so I, had to pull someone aside and say, hey, he's undercharging, have him email you back and say this is what he really wants. And he did. And so so one thing that we're doing also through the Influencer League and through MSL is advocating for more Black professionals to become influencer marketing managers, to join the PR agencies and the brands and start working for them. We need more people who look like us on that side, because when you have white coworkers or other, they're not necessarily thinking the same way. Like, how can I make sure we have 50% people of color, 50% Black people on this campaign? How can I make sure that everyone's getting paid fairly? Like, they're not thinking that way. So we need more people on this side of the business, just as much as we need people helping influencers, on the other side. So
absolutely. Oh, I love that so much. And I got so overwhelmed with managing myself. That's why I was like, I need a manager, because it's so much. And with all the emails and the communication and the deliverables and
full-time job.
Yes, it really is such a full-time job. And so, I appreciate you for just sharing that perspective. And I really hope you guys take away from this to not wait to charge and to, even if brands, okay, I'll ask you this. I feel like I be a broken record sometimes, so I want to hear your perspective. If a brand sees that you have 1,000 followers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I want to gift you these hair care products. And you are like, you're really taking your influence seriously. You're creating content consistently and you're building a great community. What advice do you give to someone who feels like they're stuck in that gifting phase where brands don't want to pay them, they only want to gift?
I will say, for starters, if you're a fashion, beauty, or travel, maybe even gaming influencer, more than likely you are going to get approached by brands who are going to want to take advantage of you. That's the nature of those type of niches and that they're in, because it's very saturated, and not in a bad way. It's just they know, if you say no, I have 100 more people. Don't let that discourage you, because number one, there are brands out there willing to work with you and really to respect you as a creator. But also, you're going to hear 10 no's before you get that first yes, but that first yes is going to be worth way more than those 10 no's, Exactly. So patience, but aligning yourself also. It takes a lot of research. It takes a lot of dedication if you're truly committed to becoming a creator who can monetize, seeking out brands who do pay their creators, it's not going to be the pretty little things of the world and the brands like that. It's the unsexy brands. It's the brands that you use every day in your life that you don't consider sexy that are going to pay you, It's a toilet tissue brand that'll pay you $20,000 to talk about toilet paper. You use toilet paper every day.
Right.
It's not sexy, but it's money, but also getting out of that loop by simply saying, I'm not in a position right now to take unpaid partnerships. Or my favorite thing to do is ignore the fact that they even asked me to do it for free. And I'll respond and say, hey, thanks for reaching out to me. I noticed these are the deliverables that you're looking for. My rates for these deliverables typically are, and I'll list out my rates just so they know you're not getting anything free out of me. So I'm not directly saying, no, I don't want to work with you. I'm instead saying, if this is what you want, this is how much I'm going to charge for you. Exactly. This is how much we can work together. We can negotiate. If they don't have the budget and you truly want to work with them, take some things away until you meet in the middle so that you can still get paid, but you're not giving them too much of the content. Or simply say, please feel free to reach out when you have more budget.
Yep.
So I feel like there's this culture on TikTok that misinformation about brand deals runs very rampant on that platform. Yeah. I can't even give advice on TikTok because it's like, I can't. But I feel like people are really pushing the user generated content. That's just a very pretty way of saying create free content for brands. And it's, I'm at a position now where I do one brand deal every couple of months, but it still puts me financially in a place where I can make more than most influencers because I've aligned myself with the brands who are willing to pay for me. So while I might really want to work with, a fashion brand, if they're not going to pay, oh, well, I'm doing this for money. Also, because I love my community, but if I truly wanted to make money, there are other ways to do it than brand deals. And I want more creators to understand that it does not have to be brand. There are so many other ways to monetize your following other than brand deals. That's the beauty of the creator economy as a whole. That's the beauty of where the future of the creator economy is growing. Those small niche communities. I would much rather have 100 followers who are willing to pay for something than 1 million followers who just want to watch me. There's power in community. And so I just really want, if you take nothing else away from this conversation, focus on building a tight-knit community, because those are the people who are going to ride for you and literally purchase anything you put out. Focus on that.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Before I even started taking brand deals, I had the eBrand Club, and the eBrand Club was making thousands of dollars a month before I even took my first brand deal. Yeah. And I honestly worked in the opposite way. Like, I was just like, I know I want to like monetize, and like, I don't want to wait till I'm running ads on YouTube. I don't want to wait until I was like, let's get this thing cracking. And so like, you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for brand deals, but you also don't have to take brand deals. If you don't want to, or if you tried it and it doesn't work, or you feel like you're not attracting the brands that you want to work with, you know, there are so many other ways, like you said. So this was amazing. Everyone is in the chat like, oh my gosh, this was amazing. How do we get in touch with Brittany? Is the Influencer League still open? How do we get connected?
Yes, of course. The Influencer League right now, the lovely Sarah is in the process of revamping our 6-week masterclass sponsored by MSL. The 6-week masterclass is going to launch very, very soon. And it is a free course that is open to all creators over the age of 18 in the United States. I'm so sorry if you're not in the United States. There are other ways that we can work together. However, if you would follow the Influencer League on Instagram, we are going to be sharing very soon when we start taking applications for the free masterclass. And I really hope to see all of you, because we got to fill all 1,000 slots. And that's a lot of people. We've done it before, but you know, sometimes it's like, man, are we going to do it again? Hope so. So definitely.
You're definitely going to do it again. And I'm so excited for you. We have to stay in touch, because this was great. And you have just such a wealth of information. And I would even love to talk to you about more stuff like balancing motherhood and, you know, all these things that you're doing. But I know we are short on time. We never have enough time when I do these. I always just want to keep talking. But you guys, please stay in touch with Brittany. And if you are, or we're tardy to the party, please make sure you catch the replay. It's going to be on my channel. And I'll also leave Brittany's information in the description box so you guys can find it there. Okay. Thanks, Brittany. Thank you so much.
Erin.
Hopefully I can figure out how to end this thing. What'd you say?
I said, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, you guys, I will see you guys later. Also, the eBrand Club waitlist is going on, the eBrand Academy. So if you guys are interested in joining the eBrand Academy, please check the link down below. We're going to be launching in October. And if you are in the eBrand Club, please know that you are going to like this so much better. The transformation is so much more systemized. And I'm just so happy that we have transitioned the eBrand Club into what is now the eBrand Academy. So the wait list is live on my website. If you are not currently an eBrand Club member, you will have to get on the wait list for it. But I will leave more information about that in the description box as well. All right, you guys, love y'all so much, and I will see you later. Bye for now.